Every conventional computer, from the smartphone in your pocket to the largest server farm, processes information using transistors switching between zeros and ones. Scaling that binary logic requires massive amounts of power and cooling. A standard microchip is entirely rigid. It only executes the exact instructions it receives, consuming megawatts of electricity to run complex models. The human brain performs complex learning and pattern recognition on roughly 20 watts of power, a fraction of what a standard desktop computer uses. It achieves this efficiency because it doesn't use rigid logic gates. It computes through living cells that continuously adapt and communicate by passing electrical impulses across physical synapses. Tech companies are now actively attempting to physically connect living human brain cells to digital hardware, creating a hybrid system known as Wetware. Mastering this biological digital interface forces a complete redefinition of how a computer operates. We are moving from machines that merely calculate to tissues that organically adapt. The process typically starts with a standard human cell line. Researchers reprogram these donor cells in a lab setting, turning them into induced pluripotent stem cells capable of taking on new roles. Scientists guide those stem cells to develop into specific types of neurons. These neurons can be grown flat in a two-dimensional culture, or they self-organize into three-dimensional structures called brain organoids. While these cells form living, active connections and respond to stimuli, they lack the structure, scale, and environment required for human consciousness. To communicate with these cells, engineers place them on top of a multi-electrode array, a silicon surface embedded with microscopic electronic contacts. The digital side acts as a transmitter, delivering patterned electrical stimulation upward into the biological tissue. It simultaneously functions as a receiver, recording the organic spikes the cells fire back down. This creates a two-way translator, where digital electronics and living tissue pass information across a shared interface. Training this system is entirely different from coding standard AI. You cannot open a file and type in new numerical weights for a living biological synapse. Instead of writing code, researchers train the cells through a closed-loop game environment, similar to a simplified version of Pong. First, the software takes a digital variable, like the coordinates of a moving ball on a screen, and translates that location into a specific pattern of electrical stimulation on the array. Next, it reads the erratic electrical signals the neurons fire in response, and decodes that biological activity into a digital action, such as moving a paddle up or down. The crucial step is the feedback mechanism. When the paddle hits the ball, the system delivers one type of electrical signal. When it misses, it delivers another. Over time, this constant feedback pressures the neural network to physically rewire its connections to improve its performance. Programming in Wetware is effectively an exercise in environmental design. Developers build a rigid feedback loop that compels the biological tissue to adapt and learn on its own in order to stabilize its environment. These systems are highly experimental laboratory setups. They are nowhere close to functioning as drop-in replacements for standard CPUs or running large language models. The hardware itself is incredibly fragile. The living cells will die rapidly unless they are housed in sterile environments with precise temperature controls, constant gas exchange, and a steady supply of nutrients. The software side faces equally severe limitations. The electrical signals generated by the cells are full of noise, and developers currently lack any standard biological operating system, compiler, or debugging toolkit to sort it out. Yet, researchers have successfully built systems that read data, issue commands, and learn from feedback. That baseline achievement establishes hybrid biological processing as a concrete technological frontier. Thank you for joining us for this presentation. At Knowledge Equity Partners, our multilingual channel shares the latest on AI and breakthrough technologies. If you found this valuable, please subscribe for daily videos. Liking and subscribing directly supports our work. Keep your quest for knowledge always high.